Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to join in congratulating the Health Committee for this bill, which will go a long way in terms of getting efficiency in how we handle our health records. And Mr. Speaker, the one issue that I've liked that this bill has addressed is, of course, the management system, and also the cooperation as has been stipulated in the Constitution in Article 187, 189 of the cooperation between the two levels of government. Because I think what has been ailing the health sector, Mr. Speaker, is that there is a disconnect between the two levels, and I hope that what we saw yesterday with the President launching these kits together with the county governments, there will be smoother operations even in the counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other issue I would speak to is the issue of the interlinkage with other institutions and officers. This, Mr. Speaker, I have in mind the issue of the government chemist. Mr. Speaker, a week ago in my constituency in a village called Kasambara, one young girl, 12 years old, Jasmine Joki, was waylaid from school, raped and killed. And Mr. Speaker, the DNA samples that have been collected by the government and by the security officers has to be taken to Kisumu to assess whether the suspect is actually culpable, Mr. Speaker. So I would hope that this bill will be able to actually address the release of issues of DNA in terms of sexual offenses, and I hope that this can be done especially under Article 36 in terms of disclosure of data. It provides on the areas where this data should be provided, and they have said legal requirement, Mr. Speaker, but I wish that it can be more expressed specifically on issues that touch on defilement and rape, that this data, the DNA and the DNA samples and information, Mr. Speaker, can be easily shared even to the enforcers of the law, even to the court system, so that we can get pedophiles jailed, we can get the criminals jailed, and this information, Mr. Speaker, should not be able to take such a long time. It should be more efficient. You don't have to travel to a different city, you don't have to travel to a different town to be able to get this information. It can be easily be transmitted, Mr. Speaker. The other issue, Mr. Speaker, that is very important is, of course, the issue of privacy, because matters, medical records are very sensitive, including not only us, every member, Mr. Speaker. That is why you visit the doctor alone. And this bill has tried to address that and has looped in the issue and the Office of the Data Commissioner, so that we have credibility that the confidentiality, the privacy and security of any data that any person or any person shares with a medical practitioner, it's protected, Mr. Speaker. And you know, Mr. Speaker, we are just coming from a time when we were dealing with the WorldCoin that was recently a major issue in this country, Mr. Speaker, and the safety has not been guaranteed. As we await the report of this special committee that was formed, Mr. Speaker, I hope this confidentiality will be guaranteed, the data commissioner to be on top of it, Mr. Speaker. That way we'll be able to protect the information that is shared in any form or any manner in any of the institutions of our country, Mr. Speaker. But I think it is a good bill. We would be proposing some amendments at the committee stage, but I think at this point it is very important, even in terms of e-waste materials, and the important fact that they have looped in the county governments, because the practitioners are not just in Nairobi, are not just in the referral hospitals, they are not just in the national institutions, Mr. Speaker. The practitioners are in the counties, Mr. Speaker. But with those few remarks, I beg to support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
James Nyekal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this is an extremely important bill for the health services.